Hey, it's Marie Forleo, and welcome to another episode of the Marie Forleo podcast and Marie TV, the place to be to create a business and life you love. So I want to talk to you about what's been happening these past few weeks. So I've gone on a bunch of different podcasts. It's been super fun. I actually went out to LA. I did Almost 30 with Krista and Lindsay again. I did the Dream Bigger podcast with Sifat. I also did the Erica Taught Me podcast here in New York. And then I also did my friend Katrina Scott podcast called Live Beautifully. And we did that in New York too. So here's what's interesting. I did not plan on talking about money on any of these shows, but inevitably it wound up coming up again and again and again. It was so weird. It was kind of mind-blowing. I'm like, why is this happening? And in every instance, I found myself very spontaneously and very passionately talking about my own money journey and how my relationship with money has transformed over the course of my life and career. It's a topic that I'm super passionate about, but I really don't feel like I've talked about it enough lately. And I found that when I was talking about my journey, I kept sharing the phrase that has literally transformed my life in so many ways as it relates to money. So I kept saying, I love money. And I found that when I said that on these shows and all the people that had me on as their guest, I would watch them initially, their eyes would just pop out of their head and they're like, oh my gosh, Marie, what does that mean? And I started sharing how when I discovered the possibility that you could pour the energy of love on your money life, it completely transformed so much for me. It helped me get myself out of literally tens and tens of thousands of dollars in debt. It helped me heal all this kind of effed up stuff I had in myself that I had learned from family and society and culture and all these different things about scarcity and not enoughness, including myself. And ultimately, that one little phrase helped me create results in my financial life that were so far beyond anything I could have ever dreamed of as a kid or even as a young adult. So the reason I'm bringing this up to you today is that, first of all, I think it's important that we talk about money. It is such a huge topic in all of our lives. It influences every aspect of how we live, how we work, how we think, how we behave in our jobs, our careers, our families, everything. And it's often, sadly, this source of tremendous anxiety and pain and shame. And it's just an area of our lives that, from what I've discovered for myself and from what I've witnessed in people I've worked with and even friends and colleagues, it can just be really, really painful. Now, here's the good news. I've learned in my own journey, it does not have to be that way. And in fact, for the past 8 or 9 years, I have been marinating on this possibility of doing a program around money, a training specifically to help people heal themselves and free themselves of a lot of the pain and the shame and anxiety around it so they can have freedom and joy, especially around money. And by the way, it's not about how much money you have or how much you earn. It really is a whole transformative process that I've gone through myself. And I feel like there's this possibility for healing for so many of us if we're willing to look at our beliefs and look at our behaviors and start to do things differently, which brings me to what I want to ask you today. So I think one of the first steps in transforming anything is awareness and also starting to talk about things. And so I'm curious about your money beliefs. I'm curious how you feel about money. And specifically, here's what I want to know. What's one money belief that keeps you from being, doing, or having what you want in life? Is it a belief that maybe money is the root of all evil? Or maybe that, you know what, money is not important, money isn't everything? Is it perhaps that it's not safe for you or spiritual enough for you to be wealthy, like it wouldn't align with your values? Or is it that, money's just really hard to come by, or that maybe you're not smart enough or talented enough or capable enough to handle large amounts of it? And there might be so many other beliefs that can come up, but I'm super curious to hear what that belief might be for you. Please leave your answer in the comment below, because as I shared, I think talking about it is one of the first steps to healing it, and then also just getting comfortable with having these conversations. And of course, you can share as much as you want. Now, second, since this is a topic that seems to keep coming up again and again, for me, what I've noticed in my life is I feel like I'm getting that cosmic call to finally get this money project that I've been thinking about and dreaming about for so long. I want to get it into my project pipeline. So if you're willing and if you're interested in this topic, I've got a few more money questions I would love your input on. So I put together a short list of questions. If you go to goodmoneyquestions.com, that's goodmoneyquestions.com, that'll help you and I start a conversation about this, because I would love to make you a part of this project and just understand more of what you want and need. Because having your perspective, A, it's going to personally mean the world to me. I love staying connected with you. And B, it's going to help me make sure that I'm focusing my efforts and my research on the aspects of money that would actually be the most impactful and supportive for you. And now finally, if you want to get started on transforming your relationship with money right now, here is an invitation for you, right? This is something for you to consider, something for you to ponder as you go out into your world and anytime that money comes up as you live your life. So here we go. How might your financial life transform if you poured the energy of love into every part of it? I'm serious. What might shift for you? How would your thoughts or your feelings or your behaviors change if you poured the energy of love into every single part of your money life? When you're paying your bills, when you're buying something from the store, when you're sharing money or lending it or saving it or investing it or thinking about it in any form. Really ask yourself that question. And then no matter what comes up, I want to know the answer. So leave a comment below and let me know. And by the way, I just want to thank you so much for diving into this topic with me. This is certainly not going to be the last time I talk about it on the show. I know it can be a really tough and emotional area, which is exactly why I want to do what I can to help. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that subscribe button either on YouTube or wherever you subscribe to podcasts. And until next time, stay on your game and keep going for your big dreams, because the world really does need that very special gift that only you have. I'll catch you soon.
To know that I would no longer have a mortgage and that I could focus on my passion of helping people without that mortgage hanging over my head. Because as an entrepreneur, it's scary sometimes when it comes to sporadic income.